Hey, good evening, USA, International, Canada, Long Island, aka Strong Island, plus the five spots of Brooklyn, Bronx, Manhattan, Staten Island, and Queens. This is your man and homie, G Money Stacks, aka the Gregonator. Your host with the most, misunderstood, lonely nomad, unstoppable independent podcaster, and of course, creator, YouTuber, and Queens, New York native, who is also a New York Mets fan from the neck of the woods of Laurelton, Queens, New York. And yes, you are now rocking with me by tuning in, listening, streaming, and watching the 142nd episode of the entertainment review show Meticulous Vibe Juice podcast. Live and direct from StreamYard and the comfort of my room, alongside with YouTube. Please make sure you hit that subscribe button for me and alongside with the notification bell so you'll be notified when I'll be on the air via live stream, which includes the date and the time. Leave a like in the comment, tell me what you think about the review topics in each episode whatsoever. And I do apologize for the delay of the podcast recording. I was shuffling around the the podcast recording schedule because of the Mets games that I have to watch, so I can actually have some stuff to talk about for my sports podcast, which is the other platform that I do. So there you go, right there. Um, so yeah, so yeah. Why don't we get to why don't we get to hold on before I even get to the before I even get to the music Kool-Aid segment, I just want to let people know in regards to the whole Queens bus redesign shit that's happening. In case you didn't know, there's going to be some changes to some of the bus routes that you folks might be familiar with. Please make sure you actually get a chance to listen to episodes 396 and 398 of my comedy Off the Meat Rack Chainz New York Avenue podcast. And please make sure you subscribe to my other YouTube channel, G Money Stacks 555, for more live video podcast episode live stream recordings. All right. So there you go, right there. So let's get into it right here. Hold on. Yeah, let's get into it right here with this. Hang on. Music Kool-Aid. Let's go. Give me 1 second. I gotta turn on this AC real quick. All right. Yeah, that's the air conditioner I'm using right now. In case anybody's wondering, it's been a hot and humid day. I hope everyone out there who is out on the road coming from work and stuff have like their bottles of water with them. Um, so so everybody stay hydrated out there. Just want to put it out there. Make sure you stay hydrated with some water and some electrolytes. All right, let's cut to the chase with this. I don't know what's going on here with my. I don't know what's going on here, but give me a moment here. Yes, so according to Hip Hop DX, um, Drake set a wild new record. He's now the only artist with 10 diamond certified tracks under his belt. Drake set a wild record. He's now the only artist with 10 diamond certified tracks under his belt. Um, the RIAA confirmed that both Hold On, We're Coming, excuse me, Hold On, We're Going Home, and his breakout banger, Best I Ever Had, have officially gone diamond, meaning each has moved over 10 million units. That puts him at the top, passing every other artist in the game when it comes to diamond hits. Once the news hit Instagram, the reactions were all over the place. Some fans gave him his flowers, with one person writing, "You can't hate on this. Greatness right here." But the Kendrick versus Drake debate popped right back up. A Kendrick fan jumped in saying, "Nobody said Drake didn't have hits. We just saying that raps better." The machine behind Drake been running strong for years. While everyone's talking numbers, Drake's already back in the lab. He told Aiden Ross during a stream on Kick that he's cooking up something new, calling the next project a slap. His post on IG with the caption Iceman had fans guessing that it might be tied to the name or vibe of his next drop. If true, it'll be his first solo album since For All the Dogs in 2023. On top of that, he's linking up with Kai Sanat for a new music video for Somebody Loves Me. They are running a contest where fans can submit their ideas for a chance to win 15K, which is $15,000, aka 15 grand, and get featured in the final cut. Drake even popped up at Sanat's Streamer University event last weekend, keeping his fingers on the pulse of what's hot online. At this point, Drake isn't just breaking records, he's rewriting the rules. Yeah, you can't you can't dismiss this guy. Let me tell you something, man. You cannot dismiss Drake though. Drake been around for decades. For 2 decades, man. 2 to 3 decades already. You know what I'm saying? So that's just I wanna make let's make some noise for Drake. Give this man his flowers, man. We are now going to go into our next segment right here. This is dedicated to two TV shows. Um, this is How I Met Your Parents TV shows. All right, which is How I Met Your Mother and How I Met Your Father, the spinoff. So let's get into it right here. Let's We're gonna go over How I Met Your Mother in the segment that I like to call um, TV show checkouts. All right, let's get into it. All right, let's get into it right here. All right. I'm pretty sure most of you folks probably know about How I Met Your Mother, right? One of the most favorite TV shows, most watched. So How I Met Your Mother is an American sitcom created by Craig Thomas and Kata Bays for CBS. The series, which aired from September 19th, 2005 to March 31st, 2014, follows main character Ted Mosby and his group of friends in New York City's Manhattan. As a free story, Ted in 2030 recounts to his daughter Penny and son Luke the events from September 2005 to May 2013 that led to him meeting their mother. And for those of you who may not know, this includes Josh Radnor, Jason Segel, Colby Smulders, Neil Patrick Harris, who you may know from Doogie Howser and MD and other movie projects that he's done. Allison Hannigan and Kristen um, Milioti. All right. This was narrated by the late great actor Bob Saget, who sadly passed away years ago. All right, so the series was loosely inspired by Thomas and Bay's friendship when they both lived in New York. The vast majority of the episodes was like 196 out of 208 were directed by Pamela Fryman. The other directors were Rob Greenberg, 7 episodes, Michael Shea, 4 episodes, and Neil Patrick Harris, 1 episode. Known for its non contemporary structure, humor, and incorporation of dramatic elements, How I Met Your Mother was popular through its run. It received positive reviews initially, but reception became more mixed as the seasons went on. The show was nominated for 91 awards and received 21. Ooh. All right, let's get to the critical reception. So, the first season was met with generally favorable reviews from critics, although some compared the series unfavorably to Friends. That's a whole fucking different show, man. Anyway, on Metacritic, a review aggregation site that collected 25 reviews for the series, it scored a 69 out of 100. Michael Abernathy of Pop Matters gave the season a negative review, writing that in quote, the comedy that does occur in How I Met Your Mother isn't enough to compensate for its inconsistencies. Tom Shales of the Washington Post gave the season a lukewarm review, saying it's a little better than most other sitcoms, past and present, especially those featuring wacky urban friends in their 20s experiencing the bittersweet mysteries of life. Melanie McFarlane of the Seattle Post Intelligencer gave the season a positive review, saying The show may not break any comedic ground, but it's the sort of comfortable, reliable hitter CBS needs on Monday nights. The second season received critical acclaim. Stacy Cross of IGN gave the season a positive review, calling it great. The third season was met with mostly positive reviews. Michelle Zaromsky of IGN gave the season a positive review, saying that the season was fun and clever, a good consistent flow from the first two seasons. The fourth season received critical acclaim. Michelle Zaromsky of IGN gave season four an overall rating of 8.5 out of 10, stating that, in quote, this fourth season seemed to settle down the chase for the titular mother. While Ted was busy dating Stella, the gang settled into many standalone episodes, which were every a bit as entertaining as episodes devoted to Ted's love life. Zoromsky went on to say, in quote, a Stella Robin Marshall episode titled Little Minnesota makes it clear that these two do not get enough screen time together. With Robin homesick and unemployed, this pairing brought out the best Robin Sparkles reference of the season when Marshall leads a rousing karaoke version of Let's Go to the Mall. The fifth season received mixed reviews. Cindy McLennan of Television Without Pity gave this season a mixed review. And at the end of the season, wrote, in quote, I'm okay with any given season not being primarily focused on mother meeting, but this season, the characters seem to regress, particularly Barney and Ted. Usually, when a season ends, I have to deal with a week or 2 weeks worth of letdown. Right now, all I'm feeling is relief. The sixth season received generally positive reviews. Justin Fowler of Late Reviews gave the season a positive review, saying that the season was a pretty good season of television and better than the poor fifth season. He also said that 17 out of the 24 episodes are what I would consider good. The seventh season received mixed reviews. Alan Sepinwall gave the season a mixed review and criticized the flash forward throughout the season, saying that the show is just much stronger when its stories dwell on matters of the present or the past, and where the writers don't have to act like magicians trying to keep the audience from figuring out how the trick works. And the finale affirmed that belief. For me, the parts that had little or nothing to do with things to come were quite good. The parts that were all about the future made me roll my eyes and ask for the umpteenth time. Really? This is where you're going with this? The eighth season received mixed reviews and is often considered the worst season of the series. Rotten Tomatoes reported that 54% of critics gave the show a positive review. The consensus reads, in quote, How I Met Your Mother wears out its welcome this season with an anticlimactic reveal and wrote less than fruitful humor. Fruit Less than fruitful humor. Damn. The ninth season received mixed to positive reviews from critics, though fans found it worse than prior seasons. Rotten Tomatoes reported that 80% of critics gave the show a positive review, with an average rating of 7.3 out of 10. Gareth Mitchell at House of Geekery responded negatively, mostly criticizing the structure of the season, stating that they are struggling to come up with stories that last out of 22 minutes. The finale of the show received a largely negative reaction from critics and fans. Some complained that the last few seasons um, had built towards an endgame that was discarded within the hour-long episode, while others defended it as true to both the initial concept of the show and to life itself. In the years succeeding its airing, it continued to be singled out as one of the worst television series finales, topping USA Today's list of worst series finales of all time. The finale of the show was so poorly received that sitcoms like How I Met Your Mother have not been produced as often ever since. Damn. I'm not even going to go into the subplots and stuff, so that's just not really. I'm not going to go into all this. I'm not going to go into all this, and as far as like anything goes. So, yeah. How we made your. I didn't even know they made a podcast out of this though. How we made your mother. That's wow, wow. Yeah, that's wow. Hmm. Anyway, anyway, man. I thought that How I Met Your Mother was a great show. It lasted 9 seasons, despite the Nielsen ratings and stuff. Man, we are in a world where we stream TV shows on streaming platforms. I mean, you got streaming platforms like Paramount TV, CBS. You even got other other platforms where you can watch TV shows. It's not just TV. First of all, the people in charge of the Nielsen ratings, they need to know that it's not just TV ratings that's that's going on anymore. Times has changed. It's not just TV ratings anymore. You have to look at streaming too, because that's included in the Nielsen ratings as well, not just TV the old school way. All right. Now, I did not get a chance to check out the spinoff actually. The spinoff is How I Met Your Father. I did not get a chance to check this out actually. So, How I Met Your Father is an American sitcom created by Isaac Aptaker and Elizabeth Berger that was released on Hulu from January 18, 2022 until July 11, 2023. It is a spin-off of the television series How I Met Your Mother, which lasted from 2005 to 2014. The series, which stars Hilary Duff, Christopher Lau, Francia Raisa, Siraj Sharma, Tom Ainsley, Tian Tran, and Kim Cattrall, follows the main character Sophie and her group of friends in Manhattan. As a frame story, Sophie in the year 2050 recounts to her that unseen son the events followed meeting his father in January 2022 and how they ultimately had him. Yeah, so this was narrated by Kim Cattrall, and it did 2 seasons. What a bummer. Um, so the television show won 4 Creative Arts Emmy Awards, receiving mixed reviews from critics. How I Met Your Father was ultimately canceled after 2 seasons in September 2023. Um, yeah, I'm not gonna go. I'm not gonna. Let's go. Let's go to. All right. So viewership for season 1, according to Parrot Analytics, which looks at consumer engagement and consumer research, streaming downloads, and on social media, How I Met Your Father was the fifth most in-demand news show during the week of March 12th, 2022 to March March 18, 2022. With Media's app TV Time, which tracks viewership data for the more than 19 million worldwide users of its app, reported that How I Met Your Father was the fifth most streamed original series in the US during the weeks of January 23rd and January 30th, 2022. It ranked eighth during the week of February 13th, fourth during the week of March 13th, and third during the week of March 20th, 2022. Season 2 with Media's TV Time reported that How I Met Your Father was the most streamed original series in the US during the week of January 29th to February 5th, 2023, and held the second position during the weeks of February 12th through February 26th to March 5th and June 4th, 2023. It ranked third during the weeks of February 19th, March 12th, March 26th, April 2nd, and May 28th, and fourth during the week of March 19th. Furthermore, How I Met Your Father was ranked as the 26th most watched streaming original television series of 2023, according to Whip Media. All right, critical response for the first season. The review aggregator website Rotten Tomatoes reported a 36% approval rating based on 47 critic reviews, with an average rating of 4.4 out of 10. The website's critics consensus reads, How I Met Your Father takes great pains to update its predecessor's formula for a modern audience, but this stilted retreat on retreat only amounts to a painful slog. Metacritic, which uses a weighted average, assigned a score of 49 out of 100 based on 19 critics, indicating mixed or average reviews. The show's second season has a 33 approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes based on 6 critic reviews, with an average rating of 4.3 out of 10. And these are the accolades that they got nominated and won the award. So let's go to Primetime Creative Arts. So Primetime Creative Arts Emmy Awards. So Gary Baum for the pilot won for outstanding cinematography for a multi-camera series. Sue Federman won for Timing Is Everything, outstanding multi-camera picture editing for a comedy series. Um, How I Met Your Father won for a reframe stamp and the category for IMDb Pro Top 200 Scripted TV Recipients. Amy Feldman and Glenda Ravello won the Set Decorators Society of America Awards for Best Achievement in Decor Design of a Half-Hour Multi-Camera Series. Sue Federman got a nomination for the American Cinema Editors Awards Best Edited Multi-Camera Comedy Series. Glenda Ravello won the Arts Directors Guild Award for Excellence in Production Design for a multi-camera series. Hilary Duff got a nomination for the Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Awards and for Favorite Female TV Star. Amy Feldman and Glenda Ravello got a nomination to Set Decorators Society of America Awards for Best Achievement in Decor Design of a Half-Hour Multi-Camera Series. All right, so we go to the Prime Time Creative Arts Emmy Awards. Gary Baum, Russell Griffin both got a nomination for Outstanding Cinematography for a series half hour, Outstanding Multi-Camera Picture Editing for a comedy series. Amy Feldman, um, Connie Boetger Marinos, and Glenda Ravello got a nomination for Outstanding Production Design for a Narrative Program Half Hour. Russell Griffin and Gary Baum both won for the Prime Time Creative Arts Emmy Awards. Outstanding Multi-Camera Picture Editing for a Comedy Series. Outstanding Cinematography for a Multi-Camera Series. Yeah, so there you go, right there. There you go. Let's see. Let's see what else do we have to talk about here, man. If I could find it. Let me make sure I don't lose out on what I'm going to talk about next. Give me one moment, folks. Yeah, wait. What's going on here? Okay. Okay, here we go. All right. Yeah, you know what? I was gonna get into the whole Jay-Z thing, but I didn't have time to actually look for the hip hop history for Jay-Z. So that's why I actually did something else. So there you go, right there. Um, let's see. Let's get into some video game news right here, man, because um, some video game news that's very important to people who are gamers and stuff. So let's get into. Hang on a second. Hang on a second here. All right. Let's get into this segment right here. Video games chamber. All right. For those of you that are new, this is where I get into some stories behind each game, whether it's like whether it's like some upcoming games that's coming out each month, whether it's like some games being held back, whatever it may be, man. And I actually do the same with my other platform, my other podcast platform actually. Um, Yeah, my other podcast platform, which is Off the Meat Rat Chainz New York Avenue podcast. I actually cover stories over there as well in case I don't get a chance to talk about certain video game topics and stuff. So let's get into this right here, right now, with the video games chamber. All right. All right, let's get into it. Let's go. Come on. That's not what I meant to do. That's not what I meant to do, man. Come on. All right, here's what's happening here, according to Video Games Chronicle. So, so all right. So, Mind's Eye Studio build a Rocket Boy says it's heartbroken over the buggy experience many launch players have suffered, as PlayStation appears to be issuing refunds to some who are dissatisfied with the game. The the Edinburgh the Edinburgh-based studio has been scrambling to fix bugs this week after the internet filled with videos of its single-player action game breaking and distorting in unexpected ways. Build a Rocket Boy and its publisher IO Interactive did not supply pre-release review code to the press for Mind's Eye, but at the time of publishing this, its Steam user reviews are are around 60% negative. Most of the criticisms most of the criticism from players have been leveled at the game's performance, stability, and AI behavior. Jeez. How crazy do you have to be? Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay. All right. There's more. On Wednesday, there was evidence that multiple players have been refunded by PlayStation, a rare occurrence that conjures memories of Cyberpunk 2077's troubled launch, which was eventually pulled from sale. Pulled from sale eventually. Um, yeah, that shit has to suck. That shit has to fucking suck right there, though. Yeah, entirely. I meant to say that's what I meant to say entirely. Um, on Thursday, Builder Rocket Boy published a new statement claiming that it had discovered the source of most players' issues and that a fix would be deployed as soon as Friday. We are heartbroken that not every player was able to experience the game as we intended. It wrote, our priority is optimizing performance and stability so that every player across every device can enjoy an equally high quality experience. End quote. Our teams have worked tirelessly throughout the night to solve many of these issues, and we have now identified that the vast majority of crashes were caused by a memory leak. This impacted roughly 1 in 10 of our players. The studio says it's developed a hot fix that addresses this issue alongside others, which it's working to deploy as soon as tomorrow on PC and on consoles once it passes certification with PlayStation and Xbox. We are fully committed to ensuring all our players have a great experience, and we will continue to provide frequent and transparent updates. We will do our best to respond to all your comments and feedback. All right. What else can we? What else is in gaming news that we got to talk about? Let's see. Let me see. Um, okay. It's nigh on impossible for developers to release a karting game without drawing constant Mario Kart comparisons at the best of times. Given that Nintendo just released the first new entry in the series in over a decade. However, Sega finds itself in an an editor, hold on, unenviable position, at least on paper, where it may be even more difficult to steer the spotlight away from Mario and chums. In a surprise twist of fate, however, this time Sega might actually have a better chance at competing. Mario Kart World's new change in focus has not only provided Nintendo's series with the dose of freshness some have been hoping for, it's also now opened a gap that Sonic Racing Cross Worlds might just be the power slide through. Whereas Mario's latest karting adventure shifts the series focus to open world racing on a large map. Sonic Racing Cross Worlds is unapologetically stouch in its sole focus on traditional lap-based arcade racing, quite literally in this case. Whereas previous Sonic racing games, including the much-loved Sonic and Sega All Stars Racing and its sequel Sonic and All Stars Racing Transformed, were were developed by Sumo Digital Crossworlds, is instead handed by Sega's arcade racing team, which in recent years has been responsible for the initial D series of coin op racers. Very, 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 very interesting to see and hear. Very interesting to see and hear about Sega coming out with a Sonic Cross. Wait, what is it? Sonic Cross Worlds? Yeah, very interesting that they came out with. Actually, yeah, that game is not coming out. I just found out that this game is not coming out till September of this year. So they got a release date for that, folks. For all you gamers out there, don't worry. It's coming out in September. I forget the date. I forget the date actually, but I have it on my phone. I have it on my phone. Just give me hold on. As a matter of fact, I'll look it up. I'll look it up. Just give me a sec. Yeah. Shouts to the folks at Sega, man, for creating Sonic Cross Worlds. That's coming out this year in September. Now, I do want to look up the date actually. If I'm correct, let me look up the date. Let me look up the date actually, so you can get a better idea on on when you could get the game. So let me see. Sonic racing cross worlds release date. There you go. Okay, so um okay, so I found out couple days ago, I found out that Sonic Racing Crossroads is not going to be released till September 25th of this year. I was right. And I had it in my text messages that I actually texted to myself actually. So September 25th of this year, mark your calendars, all right? Mark your calendars. All right, so let's continue. So the result is clear after just a few minutes of hands-on time with Crossworlds, providing the sort of vibrant um, velocity, velocity, velocities. Hold on, velocitous gameplay that would have been commonplace in arcades at the turn of the millennium. Crucially, it's also greatly improved over the last time I played it. When I, excuse me, when a closed PS5 beta for the game took place in February, the handling was extremely heavy, with players used to the power sliding from previous Sonic racing games, finding themselves constantly slamming into the inside of turns. This appears to have been tweaked noticeably for the build I played at Summer Game Fest, which I wasn't even aware about that event. So I may cover the recap of it on my other my other podcast platform, my comedy. So let me see. While power slides still don't swing out quite as much as they do in previous Sonic racing games, they are far more satisfying than they were in the beta. My session with the game lasted for an hour, and by the end of that time, I was entirely hooked, with a large part of this being down to the immensely gratifying way corners can be hugged with practice. In short, if you played the beta and were worried that Sega had ruined things, have faith. End quote. My session with the game lasted for an hour. I just had had lasted for an hour, and by the end of that time I was entirely hooked. Yeah, I just read that. Yeah, with a large part of this being down to the immensely gratifying way corners can be hugged with patience. In short, if you played the beta and were worried that Sega had ruined things, have faith. Yeah, so the main new gimmick in Crossworlds is the travel rings, which are similar to those seen in the Sonic movies. At the end of each lap, two ring portals appear, each leading to different tracks. Whichever player is in first place at that point gets to choose one of the portals, with everyone else made to pass through the same one. It's an interesting mechanic that not only ensures races feel less repetitive, but also gives players an incentive to battle to reach the front of the pack early. The build I played had three separate Grand Prix, each consisting of three separate tracks. There's then a final fourth race where all three tracks are joined together by the portals. While this does basically remove the choice aspect from the last race, there's another incentive in that winning the fourth race is worth more points, giving you or opponents one final chance to catch up in the leader board. Portals aside, it all seems fairly safe, but at the time when Mario Kart is taking bold new steps, safe may be what certain players are looking for. Not everyone is sold on the open world gimmickry of Mario Kart World with its wide highway like transitions. In that sense, Sonic Racing Cross World, despite being traditional on paper, now finds itself in an unusual slate of affairs where offering more of the same now feels like offering something different. The same goes for customization, whereas Mario Kart World leans back from it, removing MK8's ability to choose wheels and gliders in favor of a simple selection of preset vehicles. Crossworlds doubles down by giving players a bunch of customizable vehicles to choose from, some of which can be unlocked through gameplay or the game's season pass system. It's Sega's acknowledgement of what worked best before that will likely be the most appealing factor of Crossworlds. However, the last entry, Team Sonic Racing, was a perfectly serviceable title, but removed many of the elements that fans loved in previous entries. The car transforming mechanic from Sonic and All Stars Racing Transform had been ditched, and its hefty selection of characters from all over the Sega universe and beyond had been downgraded to a simple roster of 15 Sonic characters. Responding to fan feedback on this, as confirmed by Sonic Head um, Takashi Lizuka, when I asked him about it, Sega has restored both features, bringing back the transforming vehicles for land, sea, and air races, and kicking off its crossover roster with Vocaloid singer Hatsune Miku, Persona character Joker, and like a dragon protagonist, Ichiban Kasuga. Hmm. Yeah. Let me see. Let me see. Yeah. It's even reached further back to ensure the most ardent fans are satisfied with the return of extreme gear. The high-tech hoverboards used in 2006 GameCube, PS2 game, Xbox game, Sonic Riders, by offering both extreme gear and cars. Crossworlds offers the Mario Kart bikes moment for the Sonic Racing series. It's the it's the Minecraft themed content. Three racers, a minecart vehicle, and a track that's the most interesting in terms of what this game could eventually become. Though Sega has stated that Crossworlds will have a season pass with more characters and tracks on the way. And given its multiverse style setup, there's the clear potential here for multiple seasons of content with an ever growing roster of characters who could come from any source. Live service carding games have been attempted in the past, and the results have been mixed at best. Crash Team Racing Nitro fueled upset players by adding micro transactions a month after release, after promising none and extremely time-consuming limited time missions. Free to play Free to play racer Disney Speedstorm continues to give players a consistent stream of characters. There are now 92 and counting, but lost many players' goodwill over time, including mine, by splitting its seasons into 2 to 3 separate parts. Excuse me, 2 to 3 separate paid parts, and hiding each new major character behind increasingly elaborate and expensive loot boxes. And yes, because he always has to get a mention. Mario Kart Tour also kept its live service features going for a while, offering hordes of characters and costumes, but its heavy emphasis on gotcha mechanics and the fact that many people will ultimately never accept Mario Kart on mobile meant it was only ever going to do so well. Like it or not, the medium has now reached a stage where most players don't mind paying extra money for feature content as long as as long as those transactions are respectfully handled. If Sega can carefully deliver Crossroads live service element in a way that is fair to players, we could be looking at a game that a few years from now has an enormous, vibrant roster from a wide variety of IPs. It seems Sega agrees, although the publisher has previously said there will be 23 iconic Sonic characters at launch. The character select screen in the build I played had enough slots for 56 racers. This would all be for naught if the game itself wasn't fun to play. But my time spent with Crossworlds has made it perfectly clear to me that this is a race that Sega is more than capable of winning. On Xbox, PlayStation, and PC, should it all come off as expected, there's clearly no reason why Crossworlds can't take pole position and become the best karting game available on these formats. Excuse me, on those formats. But even when the game eventually comes to Nintendo Switch 2, which um, Lizuka told me will be as soon as possible after its release on other systems, it could very easily fill that gap left behind by Mario Kart World. Karting games on Nintendo formats are usually ranked with the caveat. if you don't count Mario Kart, but Crossworlds has the potential to provide players with a viable alternative that not only embraces some of the features left behind by Nintendo's latest, the no nonsense arcade racing, the addition of characters from other series, car customization, but also promises to continually update itself more than Nintendo's game might, ensuring it could remain refreshed for quite some time. Now, in case you're wondering about the Nintendo Switch 2, it's already out right now. If you didn't get a chance to cop it, I suggest you hurry up and cop it at your local stores. All right. If it's restocked on shelves, you might be lucky. If not, then it might be sold out. So just letting you know. All right, I think I'm gonna wrap up right here, man. Hang on 1 second. I think I'm gonna wrap up right here. I think I'm gonna wrap up right here. Hold on a second. Let me get the uh the list of streaming platforms and stuff ready. All right, let's get into it right here. All right, so hold on 1 second. Let me set this up. Let me set this up. All right. Very last segment to talk about is stream choices on the go. Let's get into it. Let's go. Hang on 1 second. Yes, make sure you follow Meticulous Vibe Juice Podcast on Bluesky Social alongside with Facebook, alongside with Threads and Instagram, along with my other podcast shows that's also on the same platforms that I just mentioned. You can also follow my other podcast shows that I do on the same platforms that I just mentioned. My sports platform, which is Excellent Fun Vibrant Talks podcast, and of course my comedy Off the Meat Rat Chainz New York Avenue podcast is also on the same social media platforms that I just mentioned right there. Of course, and of course, all three of the podcasts is on Threads, along with myself on Instagram as well. So yeah, you can also follow on Instagram my the three podcast shows that I just mentioned. Yes. Make sure you follow them on Instagram. Make sure you follow on Blue Sky Social. Make sure you follow on Facebook along with Threads. And yes, so yes, so yes, the entertainment review show Meticulous Vaju's podcast is also on Instagram alongside with my sports um edition show, Excellent Fun Vibrant Talks podcast, and my comedy Off the Meat Rat Chainz New York Avenue podcast. It's almost at its 400 episode. I didn't get a chance to record 399 because my internet was acting very strange. All right. So I postponed it to another time, and then in another day. So you know what I'm saying? So you can also follow your host with the most, G Money Stacks 555, on Threads and on Instagram as well. So don't forget to follow. All right, so if you go to the link in bio, you're gonna see a whole list of streaming platforms. You're gonna see a whole list of streaming platforms, which includes Audible, Odyssey, Amazon Music. And in case you didn't know, this podcast has been added to other streaming platforms, um, which includes Apple Podcasts. And you know, don't forget to rate, don't forget to rate, and don't forget to download. You can also download the episodes. You can also add to your playlist and stuff. So yeah, so we are we're on Good Pods, Castbox FM, Deezer, Listen Notes, Moon FM Podcast, Overhaul FM Podcast, Player FM Podcast, Pocket Cast, along with Podo Polo, Podorama, Podcast Index, Podcast Addict, Pod Chaser, Podverse, Podcast Guru, Pod Catcher, and of course, the newly added streaming platform includes Podcast Republic. Don't forget, we're on Podcast Republic. Let me add that to the mix. Right here. Yeah, Podcast Republic, Snip, Spotify, Spotify for creators. You can also listen to on there as well. You can also comment on Spotify for creators in each episode. Tell me how you feel about the topics. All that great stuff right there is included. And of course, you can add the podcast to your Spotify playlist. Don't forget to add the podcast to your playlist. Meticulous Values Podcast, the entertainment review show, is also on Spotify, so don't forget to add that to your playlist along with the episodes and stuff. So please feel free to tell all your friends about this podcast, especially for all you gamers out there, for all you movie lovers, TV shows, and music and stuff. So you know what I'm saying. All right, so we on TuneIn Radio, we on Fountain, we are on iHeartRadio, the number one app where you can listen to your favorite music artists, which are rappers, singers, R&B, and other music genres, radio stations, and of course you can listen to the podcast episodes for free. You don't need a credit card or debit card to download iHeartRadio. All you need to do is follow and subscribe on iHeartRadio. You can also download these apps onto your iPhones, Android phones, iPads, Android tablets, including laptops, which includes Apple, Mac, and Dell laptop models. All right. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Meticulous Values Podcast YouTube channel page. Leave a like and a comment along with the review topics that was talked about in this episode. Tell me how you feel about the topics in this episode. All that great stuff right there. And of course, be sure to also spread the word to your friends. Spread the word to your husbands, your wives, your boyfriends, girlfriends, people you are cool with from work. And of course, be sure to also add the podcast to your Spotify playlist. And of course, be sure to also enable alerts, which is the notification bell that will notify you on the new episodes that's going to be uploaded to the YouTube channel page. And of course, when the new live stream new episodes are going to be recorded. All right. And also be sure to also take an account by looking out for new episodes on every streaming platform, which is going to be dropping on Tuesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. All right. So So yeah, there you go, right there, folks. And and I like to say thank you to every single one of you out there who had a chance to actually get a chance to listen to the episodes and stuff. I really appreciate y'all. I'm your man G Money Stacks, aka the Gregonator, your host with the most. Thank you very much. And remember, the grind doesn't stop. Hard work pays off. If you want something, you have to work hard and earn it. It's not going to be given to you on a fucking silver platter. Please find your niche. And if you plan on starting a podcast, please be yourself behind the microphone. And any topics you want to talk about whatsoever on your podcast, whatsoever, I will I will gladly check out your shows and episodes and stuff. And and of course, any topic that is relatable to you, go for it. There is no right or wrong time to starting a podcast. The same way there is no right or wrong way to starting a podcast. You know what I'm saying? And of course, be on your P's and Q's creatively, mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. That gets you into your zone alongside with tunnel vision. All right. Follow your goals and dreams. Don't let anybody stop you from starting a podcast. Don't let anything or something to stop you, even if it's something in life that you're going through, whatsoever. And you got to ask yourself this question: Are you doing this? Are you doing this for the money in the moment, or are you doing this for um for fun, authenticity, originality, and and of course and of course on a consistency basis? That's the question that you need to answer for yourself. All right. Any podcasters out there, I will gladly, if you are on social media platforms whatsoever and you have a podcast, and I'll follow y'all, especially on YouTube. Especially on YouTube, all right? I will do my best to check y'all out. And if y'all want to be a guest on this podcast platform where I actually go over like some, some some music stuff, whether it's like some music stuff, some movies, some TV shows, video game news for all the leisure gamers out there in entertainment. You know what I'm saying. So yeah, I appreciate y'all, man. And you could have listened to any podcast in the whole world, but you chose to listen to this entertainment review show, Meticulous Values podcast, and I really appreciate y'all for y'all to check it out and share with your friends, share with your cousins, share with everybody. Um, and of course, have your friends and everybody subscribe to this channel. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my other YouTube channels as well. My sports YouTube channel page, Excellent Fun Vibrant Talks podcast, and of course, G Money Stacks 555, where I have my comedy Off the Meat Rat Chainz New York Avenue podcast. Um, and of course, subscribe over there. And of course, you can check out the episodes over there as well. So, yes, very important that you spread the word. I'm out of here. Peace and one love. I'll see y'all next time where I go over I'll see y'all next time when I go over some more new topics and everything else. All right. Peace and one love. I'll see y'all next time. Good night, everybody.